Welcome to the Rugby League Outsiders prediction video. This is the only prediction video on the internet that counts, in our opinion. And my name's Craig.
And my name's Karl. And Magic Weekend is back in its spiritual home. Party time. We're heading back to Newcastle. Let's go.
Right, as always, we're going to do a little bit of a rapid-fire recap on this week's game. So
rapid-fire, slow it down, Craig, slow it down.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I've got to, slow it right down. Even the easiest decisions, we've got to hand it up to the video referee
Take
to
it upstairs, mate.
kill
Take it upstairs.
any atmosphere in the game. That is definitely one of the talking points from this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think Wigan and Hull FC are still playing, to be fair. I mean, that game went on for forever. Yeah, God. Cut these video referee decisions down, it's killing it.
And more inconsistencies as well with the old shoulders and tackle height and all that. It's just ridiculous. No doubt we'll talk a little bit about that.
Let's not be negative. Let's get into the rugby, mate. Get into the positive things.
Okay, so first game we had on Thursday night was Warrington versus Saints. A really tough one to call.
Warrington 32, Saints 18. What a game this was. Warrington, unbelievable in attack. They looked so... I mean, it was King to Ashton, King to Ashton, King to Ashton. It's like, come on, make a swap up in the St Helens coaching box because this ain't working for you in the defence. They switched Percival on to... I think Percival started on the left. They switched him on to the right. Percival was dynamite in attack, but he didn't stop the tries coming in. And Warrington just made them pay down that left-hand edge. Yeah,
some killer tries from Matty Ashton, who did pick up an injury. So still waiting to hear how he's going to get on. I think it was head injury, wasn't it? So chances are he's not going to be featuring this week. But
no, a lot of injuries actually for Warrington now.
On to the Friday then, and Leeds took on Hull KR at Headingley.
Leeds 14, Hull KR 20. What a game this was. Leeds turned up and made themselves look like they were championship performers, I thought. I think they run Hull KR close, didn't they? And they were pretty much in control of that game in the first half. Quite a few decisions, there were like 50-50 decisions, which way they could have gone. Hull KR showed the class, though, in the end. The entertainers of Super League, Mikey Lewis managed to find that gap on that left edge from about 50 metres out. This is a regular occurrence. Yeah, Hull KR got the job done in the end.
Yeah, fair play. You called it. You said the strike, from the halfway line, and they did exactly that on that left edge. So, moving on then, we had Huddersfield taking on Castleford.
Giants 12, Castleford 30. Huddersfield season is officially over. There's nothing more I can say about Huddersfield. They just can't get a win. It doesn't matter what they try. It doesn't matter what players they have in what positions. They just can't get a win. Mills is playing well for Cass. I think Tex Hoy had another good game. They got the job done.
Moving to the south of France now, and Catalan had Wakefield in their backyard.
What a game this was. This was such an entertaining game. Golden point thriller, but not a golden point how we would usually expect. Catalan have got this way of finding a try when it goes into the golden point. Yeah, champagne rugby from Wakefield. I thought they played some great stuff. Absolutely entertained the crowd. They just didn't have enough. Catalan got into that grind. There was a red card for Carey. No, Carey got a yellow card, didn't he, early on in the first half. But what was crucial, Leigh getting sent off with a shoulder to the head. He's probably not going to feature at Magic Weekend, looking back at that. And that was probably the difference between the two sides. Catalan managed to sneak it at the end.
Back to the north of England, and Salford took on Leigh.
Salford 6, Leigh 28. Leigh were always going to be too powerful for Salford. Salford team's decimated, isn't it? There's not much more we can say about them. But Leigh were consistent. They did what they did last week, and Lamb controlled the game. I thought it was really good.
On to the Sunday then, and we had Hull FC taking on Wigan Warriors.
Hull 12, Wigan 36. Junior Ensemba is going to teach Bevan French how to sidestep. What a try that was. Obviously, Bevan French scored a long ranger as well. Jaifield, the usual stuff what we expect from Wigan. Jaifield ripped him up again. Wigan back playing the best rugby.
Okay, so just to summarise then, I got 4 correct from 6, and Karl, you got 5 from 6 for your. So you are the winner this week. You get the official Rugby League Outsiders moment of recognition. Do you not want to go upstairs? Theme tune.
Do you not want to go upstairs to check that?
Yeah, you should do. Right, okay, let's move on to this week then, and a couple of these teams really injury stricken. We're going to get into that, talk about that, because it's the all important Magic Weekend. Although, before we get started, Karl, are you excited about Magic Weekend? Has it been publicised as much as it has been? You know, what's your take on some of the fixtures themselves?
Some of the fixtures, they're not quite as
mouth-watering.
Let me have a look. Let me have a look.
They're not mouth-watering as they used to be. So you got, there's no real massive rivalries other than
I think
Wigan Warrington, perhaps Wakey.
Yeah, I think Saints and Leeds is the intriguing one. I think with how well Leeds played last week, St Helens are on a downward slope. I think Paul Wellens, his time is coming now. He's got to start getting that side performing. That's an intriguing game. We've got Wakey. I think it could be a great one, especially with Cass getting a win at the weekend and Wakefield just entertaining on the pitch. Has it been publicised as much? Probably not. I think we made a big thing about Vegas, didn't we, at the start of the season? I think Magic Weekend's gone under the radar a little bit. But I'm sure the fans will turn out. They love Newcastle. It's a party town. You can just enjoy yourself when you go up to Newcastle to watch Magic Weekend. Yeah,
do you think some of the scheduling, though, will have a bit of an impact there?
No, I don't think so. I think fans come and go anyway, don't they? And most stay for a lot of the rugby. And the good thing with Newcastle is you go into the stadium, and as soon as you come out of the stadium, you're in the city centre, so you get straight on the drink, can't you, after the game? So no, I don't think it will.
Let's go. Saturday, kicking off at 3 o'clock. You've got Leigh Leopards versus Catalan Dragons. Leigh currently 4 from 6, and Catalan currently 5 from 6. Kind of going under the radar there with a few wins. Over the last 6 games, their win ratio is on the increase.
How many have they won, Catalan, over the last 6?
5.
Catalan started slow, didn't they, this season? They brought players into that team. Like young French lads are sort of some of the big signings that they made at the start of this season haven't really done a whole lot, but they're getting better. But what I like with what Catalan have done, they brought some young French lads into the side, and they're really making a difference for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. You look at the Leigh side, though. I mean, another great performance. Lock and Lamb just dinking balls all over the place. Some great play from him. So I think it's going to be quite an intriguing game. Personally, I think Leigh are going to take this win just because momentum, I feel, is with Leigh. Albeit, if Catalan did win, I kind of wouldn't be surprised. I just think the game favours Leigh.
Josh Charnley back scoring again, isn't he? Badrock 2 tries for Leigh at the weekend. So yeah, Leigh look quite dangerous in attack. I always just question Leigh's defence a little bit in their own half, and they don't quite always get the numbers game right. But in attack, they've got strike power all over the field, and they know the way to the try line at the minute. Leigh sort of had a bit of a dip, didn't they, a few weeks back? The little bit of inconsistency started creeping in. I think they're getting their form back though. But it's a difficult one to call. Who are you going with? Are you going with Leigh?
Yeah, I'm going with Leigh on this one.
Do you know, because I saw how Catalan managed to work their way back against Wakefield, I'm going to go Catalan. I think this is an 80-minute game. This is. I don't think either team's going to blow either side away in the first 40, 50 minutes. I think it's going to be a full 80-minute performance. And for that reason, I think Catalan are going to take it.
Well, one thing's for sure, one of us will get that right. Game kicking off at 17:15. This is Hull KR versus Salford, and potentially an absolute washout here.
Yeah, so when the fixtures came out for this at the start of the season, I don't think anybody were predicting the trouble that Salford were going to be in at this time of season. Look, Hull KR, I keep saying it, don't they? They are the entertainers of Super League this year. I love watching them. I love watching their attacking play. I do question the defence sometimes, but certainly in attack, they can entertain and they can play from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the momentum then. So Hull KR 5 from 6, having lost to Wigan a couple of weeks back now. Salford 1 from 6. The only win coming from Huddersfield. So
the one shining light for Salford is Nicarima. I think he's playing ace. If he had some better players around him, Salford would be doing great. But he's kind of a bit of a one-man show at the minute. Is he going to be the next guy on the way out too? You know, his value as a player certainly keeps going up, especially with players exiting Salford. He just keeps shining, but he's not going to be enough. He's certainly not going to be enough to get past Hull KR. Hull KR, I think it's going to be a landslide win, this one.
Yeah, okay. So perhaps the most points in all the games this weekend for that. Then we both agree, Hull KR. Moving on then, so Saints versus Leeds, 1930.
Saints had a massive problem defending on that right edge. Leeds were really good on their left edge. Hanley and Lum are doing brilliant out there this year. That's Leeds' most dangerous side. Compile that with Saints' inability to defend on the right. You've got another mismatch coming here. This exactly like what we had with the Warrington game, where you had King and Ashton just tearing them up on that side. The only thing, I suppose, Hanley might not be available, had he? He got a red card, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a red card. That was suspect to me.
Yeah,
I didn't expect a red at all compared to some of the other stuff. And the other thing to bear in mind as well, Ryan Hall, ankle injury. So whether he's going to feature or not, we don't know at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Connor's still running the show for Leeds. Lockie Miller's playing really well again. Are we seeing Leeds now start to be title contenders? Or is that just pie in the sky?
As a Leeds fan, I love your sentiment. I love your sentiment.
I saw a comment actually about you this weekend. It was like the guy, the Leeds fan, he said... it was something along the lines of he's having a laugh if he thinks Leeds are even top 6 contenders. I think Leeds are top 6 material now.
Do you know, this is just the typical kind of comment we get from some people. You know, they like that, give you a fucking head a wobble and all. You know, some people, like, they don't hold back. They're very abrasive and, you know, thick skin goes over my head. To say that Leeds are not playoff contenders... It's just ridiculous. What you said there, you know, are Leeds title contenders? I don't think for a minute they are title contenders. Do you know what I mean? I love your sentiment, I really do, and I'd love in this dreamland. I think, oh, brilliant. There's a little bit of unrest in the Leeds camp with Brad Arthur. We don't really know what's happening with him. You know, there's these rumours and everything going on. Morgan Gannon's way out the door.
Yeah, but there might not be unrest in the Leeds camp. That could be just hearsay, couldn't it, from the press just writing nonsense.
Whatever.
I heard he was going to like Perth Bears. They haven't even been granted an NRL licence, so I won't read into that.
Well, no, but you're trying to tell me that they just live in a bubble. All these players and staff and all that, they just live in a bubble and don't look at the media. You know what I mean? So anyway,
I reckon the Pick newspaper. Look what they're writing this week. I think.
I don't know.
Some right rubbish gets written in press, mate.
Well, I don't want to go into this any longer. However, I think you're just being a little bit blinkered, because right from the start of Brad Arthur coming in, it was never cemented. It was never guaranteed he was staying. He was in, he was out. How long's he staying? He'd never pin his colours to the mast and all that kind of stuff. Now there's rumours that he's had like a significant offer from a big club from a club in the NRL. So to say that, oh no, you know, just I think you're a little bit blinkered there. Anyway,
Paul Roll at Leeds next year.
let's stick to the game. So what were I saying? I don't think the title contenders. 100%, I think they're playoff contenders. How they'll perform in playoff, I don't know. But they're currently sat in 6th place. So, you know, to say that they're not, like what happens? Like we couldn't parachute like 2 or 3 teams into the table. I mean, it's just crackers. Anyway, water for ducks back. Let's crack on. Who have you got for a win here, Karl?
I'm going Leeds. I think I'm going to make 2 predictions here.
Go on. Leeds
are going to win. It's going to be Paul Wellens' last game in charge.
Oh, we've got to be close to that. We've got to be close to that. You know, there's reports in the press again this week that like some of the senior players, with the exception of Percival, are just not turning up for Wellens. And you know, how long can he survive before we've got to try something else? Anyway, what happens? Wellens out, Breers steps up.
Yeah. Saints are playing all right in attack. It's the defence that's worrying for them. They've got a soft underbelly, but I tell you what I do like watching.
Mate, I kind of disagree there. Just quickly,
go on.
Get back to it. I think it's just like unforced errors are killing Saints. I think they just spill the ball. Like they're just they're not.
They do.
And even like Alex Walmsley, a senior player, and every time I've watched him over the last couple of weeks, he spilled the ball at some point, and you just don't expect that. I mean, it used to be, Thompson, Walmsley, who just gain you massive yards, always secure with the ball. That's just not. It's not happening in the minute, and I don't know why.
But I do like watching George Whitby. I think he's the future into that Saints are going to keep building on. I don't think we're going to see Lomax get back in the side. Genuinely don't think we're going to see him get back in the side.
We'll have to see, because teams are going to start really targeting Whitby, and you've got to see how robust he is as a young lad. But currently, really performing well. And how long is it going to be before we go, forget age? Do you know what I mean? This guy is a star, and he's a star in his own right, regardless of the fact he's a young lad.
Well, I think he is, and they brought him in, didn't they, at the Wigan Saints game, and Harry Robertson came into the Saints side the year before in the Wigan Saints game. They know how to handle pressure, these young lads, and I don't think it phases them at all. And I think that's where Saints have got to be looking to build a team around. Yeah,
and it's probably something they've had for a long time, for many years, and it's just kind of slipped a little bit. Right, so you're going.
I'm going Leeds.
Win.
I think Leeds will win. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to Leeds win. Just their win rate over the last 6 games. Saints currently 2 from 6. Leeds 3 from 6. Slight bit of momentum to Leeds. I'm with you. I think they've got strong strike on that left edge, and I think Percival will have an absolute stormer, as he always does. I just don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to be a Leeds win. So we both agree on that one. Right, moving on to the Sunday, then we've got 3 games on the Sunday as well, kicking off with Huddersfield Giants versus Hull FC at 1 o'clock. So a little bit of a lie in those for those that have got a little bit of a thick head after the booze on the Saturday. Huddersfield unbeaten still, 0 from 6.
They're not unbeaten.
I can't say that every week, don't I?
Beaten.
Yeah. So they haven't won. 0 from 6. Hull FC currently 3 from 6, but doing some great stuff on the pitch.
Ollie Wilson was the shining light for Huddersfield. Other than that, they're just damp. That's the only way I can describe them. They're just not firing. I can't see. Right, I'm saying this now. I can't see Huddersfield picking up a win this season. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, you got to argue, maybe Cass, who have struggled to pick up wins at times.
Cass beat him at the weekend. The Cass are a better side than Huddersfield. Huddersfield they're not a good side. They need to buy some better players. They need to invest in the squad more. Otherwise, the fans are going to just turn away. Desperate times for Huddersfield right now. Desperate times.
Do you think Hull FC are licking their lips at this fixture then at them?
Yeah, I think Hull FC will win. I think they'll win comfortably. Hull FC struggled a little bit at the weekend against Wigan, but Wigan are a red hot side again, aren't they? They're back to playing their best rugby. FC are doing well. They're certainly a lot better than they were last year. They found some consistency this year. I think their attack's pretty good. Will Price is getting into that side now, and he's looking dangerous as those combinations start to gel with Caesar. FC win all day long. I can't see Huddersfield picking up a win this season.
Completely agree with that. So both agree on that one as well. Right, we're going to move on then. So you mentioned Wigan. We got Wigan versus Warrington. Wigan currently 4 from the last 6, as are Warrington. So both got the same win rate over the last 6 games. This kicks off at 15-15.
A Vegas repeat, this, isn't it? Vegas repeat at Magic Weekend. However,
Vegas Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, Warrington didn't perform at Vegas. I can't see them performing again this week. I'll tell you why. I think the squad's decimated with injuries at the minute. Injuries, suspended players. I mean, go through you've got the list, haven't you? Players who may not be available this weekend.
So you got Sneed come off with a head injury, Ashton with a head injury, Powell with a finger injury, and the same for Fitzgibbon as well. So, 4 significant players there, plus George Williams, who's not going to feature for a few weeks, and a few other players as well. So still not playing Stefan Ratchford, which is a bit of a weird one for me. What about you?
Yes, yeah, I agree with you, actually. I agree. I would have... They look I mean, they won at the weekend, didn't they? But they look like they need a little bit of senior leadership every now and then. And Ratchford's the guy that can deliver that, isn't he? I think we'll see him feature this week. Well, we will see him feature this week. If for some of those injuries don't make the field, I mean, we don't know about Sneed, do we, at the time of recording? So, I think Ratchford will be back in this week.
Well, reporters broken cheek, I think.
Definitely.
I think Sam Burgess mentioned like broken cheekbone at the press conference after the game at the weekend. So, I mean, doubtful that he's going to appear. So, anyway, we've got to call this, Karl.
They're already on loan troops, and Wigan. What do we say about Wigan that we don't say every week? Bevan French again was on fire, scoring from deep in his own half. Jai Field again was tearing it up. The pack is bullying sides. I can only see a Wigan win this week, and I actually think it could be quite a wide margin, this one.
I definitely agree. It's going to be a Wigan win. Whether it's a wide margin, I'm not so sure. You're right. There's every potential there.
I think a wire side full strength gives a good game. I think the current Warrington side, if a lot of these players don't play, I think they'll find it difficult. You mentioned
Hull KR being the entertainers of Super League. Now, there'll be a few Wigan fans out there that disagree because Wigan are doing some amazing stuff. But
do you know
what caught my eye? Let me remind you of this. Bevan French made like an almost pitch long, solo effort, right? Laughing. he was smiling and laughing. You know what I mean? Just absolutely blazed through.
No, you know why I say that? I think. Yeah, Wigan have got some great entertaining players, but they're very methodical of Wigan. You watch Harry Smith, there's just a process to everything they do in attack, even in defence. And that's why I say it with Hull KR. Hull KR are a little bit off the cuff. Wigan just feels like they have this process that they go through, and it's tried and tested, and they're confident and they know what to do. And then, you are right, Matty P. If that process isn't working, he'll just send a message down saying, "Tell Bevan to score."
Right, so we both agree Wigan's going to take the win there. What do you say in the comments? And then and the final game then, kicking off at 17:30, is Cass versus Wakey. Cass currently 2 from the last 6, as are Wakey.
We talked about Hull KR being the entertainers, but Wakey, they were class this weekend in that first half against Catalan. I can't remember who scored the try. It was like the few little passes through. I think Leigh threw one out the back door. I mean, just great champagne rugby. Loved watching it. The thing I do question with Wakefield a little bit is that their red zone defence lets them down a little bit. Whenever Catalan got themselves in good field position, they managed to find that way over and like Kotrick in at the corner. So I think the goal line defence needs to tighten up a little bit. I think Darryl Powell will be all over that this weekend, but there's certainly a great side to watch.
Okay, so we need to call it then. Do you think Wakey are taking the win here?
I think so, but I don't think it'll be a big winning margin. I think Roy Mills has said he's playing well for Cass again, so they're starting to get their half-back pairing clicking. Cass have got some big lads in the pack. They've got some injuries, aren't they? I'm going Wakefield, mate. I think Wakefield will pick up a win. I'm going to go slim margin, though. I think 10 points. I think being the last game at Magic Weekend, these two sides are going to put on a showcase. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I agree. So it's a Wakey win. We both agree on that. So this week, the only game that kind of splits us is that Leigh Catalan game right at the start. Now we're going to be reviewing all the shirts for the Magic Weekend in our second video this week. So make sure you hit subscribe so that you pick up on that. Karl, any final afterburners?
No. You should say. Any mitigating circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, just get in the comments and tell us about this video referee decision. Are we right? Are we seeing something that that no one else is seeing? Why are referees having to send every try upstairs to the video referee, often when they're just stood there watching it? You know what I mean? They've got 2 touch judges, and you're like, just make a decision. Let's get this game going. And I'm sure on the pitch, I know it might slow them down, build up just give them a bit of a breather. They might not mind it too much, but as a spectator on Sky TV, when they do this, I'm going to write. When they do this thing, right, and it's like that, right, slow it down. This angle will do, and then whoever's controlling the cameras flips it to the other right. No, not this one. Take it back.
The other angle.
Right now, slow this one down, and it's like, no, yeah, fucking hell, and you're just like, this is painful. Do
you know what the bit that annoys me? Is when they go, right, can we see the grounding now? Like someone's just run like 80 metres and dived over, right, with the ball. They were looking to see if there were a knock on or something in back play ages ago. Like there was never any question about whether he grounded the ball. Just don't even look at that. Everybody in the stadium knows that he grounded the ball. Don't need the extra 10, 15 seconds. Just speed it up, man.
Yeah, but they're working through a process out of it. And then it's like, they have this like thing that comes up on the screen going, ooh, but because they've played it through, the minute they get to right, show me the grounding, they've rewarded the try.
Show me ground knock, Karl goes, yay! Right, we got to wait 10, 15 seconds now for the...
Build the suspense, and everyone's like, well, we know you've awarded it because you've looked at the grounding, and the grounding's fine.
Andy said, I've made my decision.
Yeah. All right, yeah. He's ground that clear. He's clearly ground that. There's no problems. I've got no problems with that. Okay, on-field decisions. This. You're like, well, I know what's fucking coming.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our final rant. Until the next video, take care.